I came from a pretty average background. My parents, when I was younger, they pretty much loved on us, affectionate. I mean, there wasn't really anything out there. When I was about somewhere between 7 and 12, my parents divorced. And that's when things really started going pretty bad for me. Not in that I still did anything, but I started acting out with tantrums, and I started feeling depressed, and I started feeling like something was wrong, like it was my fault that they divorced. I have 3 brothers, and I'm the only girl, and I'm the second oldest, so a lot of it, I felt like it was my fault. So I started chasing boys. By the time I was in middle school, I was already pretty heavy on trying to chase boys. I was still pretty square, I guess you could say. I didn't really act out with the drugs or the drinking or sex or anything. I didn't really do anything. I was still pretty average, still pretty trying to stay along the lines of obeying them because I wanted my parents' approval. I really wanted my dad's approval. And you couldn't have it unless you followed the rules. But when I graduated, I met a boy, and that's when my life pretty much started spiraling out of control. He got me into cocaine, and he had me dabble in other drugs, and we started drinking pretty heavily. He left me not long after that, and I met another boy not long after that. I didn't stay single very long. And we started doing drugs even a little bit harder and partying a little harder, and I ended up pregnant. And then we found out his dad had cancer. So his dad died pretty quickly, and he didn't want me to have the baby. He wanted me to have an abortion, and it broke my heart. But I was more scared of losing him. So a year later, when I got pregnant again, I felt like it was somehow God telling me to keep him. But not long after I had my son, his dad left us. And not long after that, I met someone else. Then it started out like a fairy tale. I thought that this was God answering my prayer to a God I didn't even really know. But not long after the honeymoon stage, he started getting slowly getting abusive with this or that. I lost my son. I lost the son that I thought was a gift from God. But again, I was still so scared. He killed my son. And I didn't turn him in. I pretty much lied for him to the authorities and saying that he wasn't there. But they pretty much knew from day one that it was him. They pretty much knew that he was the abuser. In his trial, his 2 brothers testified against him, saying they'd seen him be abusive, and there was so much evidence against him that there was no doubt in the jury's mind, the judge's mind. I'm pretty much here because of my failure to render medical aid, for lying to authorities on him. However, they still did charge me with first-degree murder. I have to say that even with that, I have to thank God that I'm here. I have to thank God that I came to prison regardless of the charge, regardless of the circumstances, because it was here that I learned who I was. I learned who He said I was. Not what these men said I was, not who my parents said I was. I got saved. I mean, I was kind of a Christian out there, but I really, my heart changed. And I wanted to be the woman that I should have been, the mother that my son deserved, the person that I know God was calling me to be. And I really got to know Him in here. And now I get to be that light for my family, because although we grew up in a religious household, there really wasn't any talk of Jesus or God or faith or love. And now I get to be that light for my family. I get to be that light for my parents and my brothers. My dad, he's got stage 4 cancer. And he told me in a car the other day that it was me that was shining the light for him, that something about me and the confidence I had in who I was and who I am in God was drawing even him to God. And I have to have faith that not only will God bring my dad to Jesus, but he'll do the same for my mother and my brothers. I have to be strong for them, for my son, even though he's with Jesus. And if I'm blessed, and if God sees fit, I'll have more. But I have to know that God is going to use all this. Just like he said in Romans 8:28, all things work together for good.